hit me with your checklist.
Are you sitting down?
I am sitting down.
Because, if you were standing, you could possibly fall, and then if you possibly fell, you could make irreparable noise. Just like logical, just trying to be logical like our last film. Now,
Logical, simple, to the point.
then to the point. Now, most importantly, and probably, did you fill up your ice tray? Like, you're not gonna put ice in your drink now.
Oh, I'm drinking red wine, so
You drinking red. Oh, that's rum. Damn. I'm talking
wrong shit.
wrong shit.
Nah.
Oh wait, are you okay with profanity? Fuck it.
Fine. So we begin. And welcome to Brother Sip. Oh, Jesus, and talk shit.
It's really hard to make a loud noise with a glass bottle.
What are you sipping on?
I'm still groshing. Number 4, quattro, as they say in my native tongue.
I was gonna switch to something else, but this wine glass would finish this bottle. So another glass of the Robert Mondavi Private Selection Cabernet Sauvignon Blanc 2018, Monterey County, aged in bourbon barrels. Fort, a limited release Cabernet Sauvignon blends the craftsmanship of California winemaking within the southern tradition of southern bourbon whiskey aging. Our coastal California vineyards deliver deep flavors of black cherry and blackberry to the wine. The next step is to age the blend in bourbon whiskey barrels for at least 3 months, adding nuances of vanilla, brown sugar, and toasty oak. And
I want to thank you for telling everyone in this world that you've seen the entire series of Insecure. Thank you.
I did not see season 1, so I don't know how we got there, but I did not see season 1. But I'm a fan of Lawrence, and people hate me for that. They hate me.
Is that your intro, T?
It wasn't what I was going to be. But since you brought up Insecure, I'm T, and I'm in the Church of Lawrence. It's Insecure. I'll just keep it black since I didn't buy black. I'll up a black show, so Insecure. I usually reference horror stuff, so I won't talk anything Jordan Peele. People Under the Stairs and Demon's Night are 2 of my early favorite black films, and Tales from the Hood as far as black horror films. So I'll just throw it out there. And you?
Hi, I'm V, and I thought Amistad was a horror film.
Oh, I can't even knock that. Rosewood is a horror film.
That shit's a horror film. At least Amistad has some historical. I come out with history. Rosewood, I come out.
Rosewood is historic too, though. Rosewood is very historic too.
I just pray that there was some exaggeration in Rosewood. I just hope that they took.
Rosewood
I hope that was based on the true story. I hope that one was based on true story. Is that because that one is? Whew.
No, that's that. Oh, Rosewood is I think just as real.
Yeah, Amistad was pretty bad. Amistad and Rosewood are 2 films. These are horror films, right? Oh, they're not.
No, this is America. Look,
this is America.
Getting political.
Rosewood, Rosewood is some fucked up shit, bro.
I can't watch Rosewood and then go see like a whole bunch of my Caucasian friends. I'll just be turned on them for the week. I'd be like, you got to give me a solid week after watching Rosewood.
I watch Rosewood and I'm like, I'm never going to the South again. Mm-hmm. You won't catch me east of the Mississippi, south of that Mason-Dixon line ever again.
Terrible. All right, so we've already wrapped up the horror film, so now we join our foreign film, which is not too foreign because we're actually just going to the UK, huh? We're going where
across the pond, across the pond,
across the pond, back to where our language came from.
What would they say back in our day? There are oppressors. These are the original oppressors. They're like the OGs, right?
Oh, the colonizers, man.
Yeah, they were the OGs.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, they were running that shit. That was some gang life back in the East India trade routes.
Yep,
bruh.
Oh yeah, that's some wild shit. That's some wild shit right there. So, that aside, why don't you introduce us to our movie for the day?
I have selected Blue Iguana, and this film follows two crooks that are just kind of fresh out of jail, and I cannot recall why or how they were recruited to then go across the pond for what I think is just a hit.
A heist, a small heist.
A heist. It's like a baby heist.
Yeah, a stick-up job.
Or some sort. It was more of a stick-up. Then it goes awry. They are about to get deported or decide to leave. The lawyer that originally hired him said, "No, you should stay because there's a bigger heist." I guess. And then I guess it turns into a heist film. I guess it is a heist film, right? Is that a
I'm going to let you finish your intro before I speak on this film.
this is like, yeah, I guess it was like a heist film, which then they do these like elaborate stakeouts for like mad scenes to find out where this bar is for the blue iguana, which the blue iguana is literally a necklace, to end up getting stolen by the big bad guys in like 30 minutes, and then they decide to steal it from them, and then it becomes this like escalation point where they just like bum rush the bar. There's a shootout, people get shot. How do we get out of it? And I think that's where the movie kind of picked up a little bit for me, and that's probably why it sticks with me. I would say it's like a UK kind of heist film, and it's a little misleading because I'm trying to. I think it's a comedy. There's a lot of like, I was confused on how to genre-tize this one because there's a lot of like.
I'm letting you go before I go off.
Yeah, it was a lot of. This is one where it's like I think we're going to be talking a lot more about the bad than the good.
I'm just going to let you finish.
And the ugly. There's going to be a lot of bad and ugly. This wasn't a.
I'll let you
this
finish.
was not a. Let me actually.
That's going to finish.
This was not a strong pick.
Yeah, I want to say you hit with
this.
This
was a man. Sometimes you gotta shoot your shot, but this one, man, this wasn't even close. Like, here you go. How would you describe it?
Go to Bollywood.
That was 1 minute.
I'm not even gonna waste a minute on this. This felt like it was the Italians' Ocean 11 snatched oceans while going to figure it out if she's all that.
Yes. That was a much better description than what I had. It was like, I'm like, what film are you guys trying to copy right now? And it turns into another film. I'm like, why are you copying this film now? What? At first, again, like you said, I was like, is this like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels with a little bit of Snatch? Then it progresses, like you said, to this like Ocean's 11 vibe. Then becomes this like love story. Then it like kind of reverts back to these like UK roots with like the random characters that are so fucking confusing and outlandish. But yeah, that describes it. So give me some of your initial sentiments about this. Can we just be honest right from the get-go?
Oh Jesus Christ! This may be
is this an egg? Can we just call it an egg now? Can we just call it a bagel and get it over with?
You know what? Then... I'm not even going to argue with that one. It's a strong. It's a bagel, and I could only call it a 1 for like maybe like 2 or 3 scenes. Like every time I wanted to call it a 1, I was like, background. And I'm so glad to hear negative things because I watched this as I waited. Here we go, getting political again. I went to go out and vote. It's 7:45 in the morning here in Georgia, and I was in line, and I didn't get to vote until 1 p.m. Just want to throw it out there. So I watched the movie while I was waiting in line to vote. And while I was there, I may have been better off just waiting in the line to vote.
Oh, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't awful. And that's why I probably won't. It's hard to give this 0.
I want to egg it too. I really want to egg it too, but there's a few things. So should we now make this like the defense of the egg? Like, are we going to convict this film to life of an egg?
Do you want to talk the positives or?
I feel like a more fun way to do this is like try to defend the case of why this is not an egg. Because
I think.
All right. Yeah. So you go. Yeah. Defend to me why this isn't an egg.
And at the same time, I'm going to say why it's an egg. First and foremost, stars Sam Rockwell and
Ben Schwartz.
Is that who it is? Ben Schwartz?
Yeah. AKA Sonic, by the way.
He is Sonic, isn't he? Yes. So Ben Schwartz, who is Sonic in the new Sonic movie, which isn't that bad at all, and Sam Rockwell. And honestly, their chemistry is pretty fucking amazing.
Again,
that's the worst part. Their chemistry
there's these little
great.
Things that are like, I can't egg this because there's like these little microcosms. You know what I mean?
They had such great chemistry on, and it was almost like it was so many moments where they weren't taking themselves serious. I don't know if I want to waste time. Basically, it kind of is a heist film, kind of isn't. they get this job from she British?
I don't even realize she's British, but yeah, she's a British lawyer in the film.
A British lawyer gets them go over there, and they're helping to recover something for this guy that she's lawyer to. And I thought that they were gonna have twist in the movie, like there's this underlying thing about this diamond that they're trying to get, and the story is that
I thought it was going to be a blue iguana. I thought it was.
No,
I
no,
thought there was
no.
actually going to be an exotic animal in there.
I did not. I'll tell you what I thought. So basically, they're going to try fuck all the other shit. Let's just get to what the main quote unquote heist is. So to get the lawyer to get herself in the green, she wants to try to steal this diamond. She find out this guy she's working for is trying to steal, so she could get the money before he does, and in the process, hopefully get him arrested. That's the whole thing. And the story, once she finds out that they're going after this diamond, is that there was this guy who was like a big business magnate or prince, and he had this woman, and the woman ended up fucking him over, but he loved the woman and tried to give her everything and gave her this big blue diamond, and ended up losing the diamond somewhere in the process. Now she wanted to get back with the guy, so the only way she could get back with him, she thought the ultimate thing was to get the diamond back, and that would somehow redeem herself to get back with the guy. The princess. It was a princess, yes. Now, over the course of the movie, Sam Rockwell is calling this lawyer princess, and she keeps on saying, "Don't call me that. Don't call me that. Don't call me that." Now, what I thought is that she was the princess, and that she was really stealing the diamond for herself, and she was leaving them all and actually going back to the guy. No, but like, why have the whole point of her being so sensitive, being called princess, but it having no fucking warrant or weight on the fucking shit? There I go undefending it again. I'm sorry.
You're supposed to be defending it.
I'm trying. See, I told you it was gonna happen. Oh my god! And then it is, maybe it's meta, because they have one point where they're talking about all the disguises they wore to do this job.
That's where I was borderline. Is this like a parody?
Mm-hmm.
Are they trying to be funny? Are they like trying to make fun of all these different like heisty UK films with a little bit of, like you said, a little bit of Ocean's 11 in there? But I didn't do any research because it wasn't even worth the research.
But it was. I mean, I couldn't tell. It was a comedy, but I couldn't tell if it was going to be a comedy. And then another reason why I thought the princess thing was just like a fake me out is because he was reading this comic through the entire thing, and it was about this knight trying to save this girl. But somewhere in the comic, the princess ends up being like really the villain in disguise, and ends up being a traitor on him. But then at the end of the story, the princess isn't. And again, I thought this was all like, that's just bad.
Film is you had to invent a better ending.
I had to invent a C storyline that was so much better than what I saw.
You just out of boredom, you were just like, all right, I gotta get something going here to keep me in there. You know what I like?
There was so many. Defend it. Okay, better yet, I will tell you the absolute greatest part of the film, hands down, is at one point they're trying to do some reconnaissance on the bar. So she sends in her uncle, who is this old guy, and goes in there with his 3 other friends. And they come back, and they are the most proper speaking British guys ever that are talking about this what is it? This Cockney. They're recapping the Cockney talk, and they're having this conversation. And he was like,
Milroy Primus. I never go down
on a bad pussy. Like, and the read of that scenario was maybe the saving grace of that film, because I had to run back that shit twice, because the 4 of them going through, I believe that he said he would suck a fart out of her. Like, and it was just so perfect.
Not to tart, a fart.
And I don't understand anyone would do that. Like, and it was so great. And then Uncle Martin ended up showing up later, and he was like, I'm just so happy to be a part of this. I was getting so bored. Like, and he's the greatest. I don't know who Uncle Martin is, but Uncle Martin is the only reason I may not give that film a goose egg. Because that scene was so great.
This is my defense for the egg. This is defense for the non-egg. I laughed. I did laugh. There was things I laughed.
There was a couple things.
There was humorous moments. Like even with everything else going on, and I don't think it was like, man, I'm bored of this film. I just need to find something to laugh. I started like laughing in the very beginning. And again, it started off because of Sam Rockwell and Ben Schwartz's chemistry.
It was great chemistry.
Was very
wasted.
Those two characters are interesting. I don't know, just for anybody who. The reason why I even picked this film was I saw Sam Rockwell in shout outs to
Jojo Rabbit. Is that what you're talking about?
Thank you, Jojo Rabbit. I saw him playing a Nazi, and a very eccentric Nazi at that, and I was like, what else has he been up to? Because he was so interesting in that
Sam
film.
Rockwell does a lot, and I didn't realize when you gave it that it was Sam Rockwell that you were talking about, because originally I remember I thought it was a different film. And then when I saw what it was, I thought it was Blue Ruin. But when I realized it's Blue Iguana, I was like, oh, Sam Rockwell. And Sam Rockwell is one of those people that actually plays a whole bunch of different characters. Like sometimes he's a real asshole, sometimes he's real evil, sometimes he's a politician. He was Justin Hammer in fucking Marvel Universe and shit like that. He plays so many different things. Like he's really one of those really, really good actors. Side note, the guy who played Uncle Martin is Simon Callow, and he's in fucking Four Weddings and a Funeral, A Room with a View, Shakespeare in Love, Phantom the Opera.
So it's like there's some pretty good the cast was that was the number two, is that though I say individually none of these characters are that interesting, but together they started making these like little pockets of humor. Particularly my favorite was the mullet guy.
But I didn't like him because he seemed like the shitty version of Old Boy in Snatch. He looked just like one of the dudes in Snatch that's in a whole bunch of other films.
Yeah, this is sad because like I also realized I made this pick for the UK, and there's like 12 other films that I could have picked. Jesus. And I went with Blue Iguana. I was like, why did you pick this film? It's like, I wanted to see what else Sam Rockwell could do. I heard about Blue Iguana.
So here's the thing. He looked like a cheap Jason Fleming. You saw
his character was the most real though, man.
No. Here's the thing. If you go watch Snatch, he looks like he is just that character. Like the problem why it bothers me. See, I'm trying to defend it. Why are you gonna do this to me? All this is a really bad.
I'll keep defending it. How about I'll keep defending it? How about this? I'll be the defending. You be the persecutor. I'm gonna be the defender.
All right, Judge. I bring to you a poor example of a Guy Ritchie film. A Guy Ritchie wannabe film in so.
God damn it! I've lost. Lock him up forever. Lock him up forever. I've already lost.
Every character that he has in there is a poor version of a character in a Guy Ritchie film.
And I think that's where there was this moment where I'm like, yeah, this shit is terrible, but I still was laughing. I was like laughing. There was definitely humorous things about it.
But it had so many identity issues. Like the lawyer looks real extra conservative. Her glasses are actually dirty. That I noticed at one point. Her glasses were dirty, so like dumb, fingerprinting, and it bothered me. So dumb. I was like, your glasses are dirty. Anybody that wears glasses, if there's a whole bunch of, if your glasses are greasy, you're gonna take them off and clean them. No one walks around with their glasses dirty like that. She like gets turned on by the idea of them blowing up a building, so then she pulls a She's All That and takes her hair out, and now she's all into it. But I will say that there was this other character. So there was 5 of them in general. It was Sam Rockwell. Ben Schwartz
was the I hate to call him this.
No, the gay dude. The gay dude. But you couldn't tell that he was gay because he would just kept on leaning uncomfortably close to Sam Rockwell.
It was very subtle with his
and like he was like putting a silencer on a gun, and like he was flirting with, like, he's not flirting with him, is he? Like, no, he's not flirting with him. And then
he had the most stylish gun I've ever seen, and sleek looking gun I've ever seen in my life.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about the gun because that's gonna piss me off. I'll come back to that in a moment.
Because that part was dumb.
Why the fuck did he bring the gun? There was no purpose. He brought a gun with him into the bar that they're casing because Ben Schwartz's character. This is a B story. I'm going off. We're going off. Let me focus. Let's focus on Old Boy first. All right. I'm gonna try my best. I'm trying my
I
best.
like Ben Schwartz though, but actually, real quick, Ben Schwartz, I do want to shout out him as well because this is like the first time I've seen him in a more starring role because he's like the number 2 guy. Usually, he's like he plays this like he's the king of playing obnoxious characters in your favorite sitcom and or TV show, like the most ridiculously obnoxious characters, and he does it really really well. In this, it was able to see. I was a little bit hesitant of like, will his kind of like style be able to last the full hour and a half?
Oh no, but it was great. He was absolutely great.
It was, and again, I think it's because that chemistry between him and Sam was like pretty nice.
To say 100 times over, he was really really good in the film, and it sucks. It's like again, it could have been so good, but it just fucking wasn't. It just fucking wasn't. I digress. The gay gentleman that was there and the shit that he was doing and the way he was moving, and Ben Schwartz almost tried to see if he was like feeling him at all, and he was like, no. At the end of the movie, they're like walking out of a hotel covered in blood because there's a zombie film going on. The film is as ridiculous as it fucking sounds. They get covered in blood because they blew up one of the main villains, and they get out by posing as extras for a zombie film.
How an explositive went off, and not a single person in this hotel
was even the slightest concern.
And you know, the funny thing is, they tried to like, oh no, we explained this, guys. It's a little bit of explosive.
He said it's just
like, they tried to justify it, like it's a little bit of explosive. That was their justification.
That's why I say, like, when you talk about, at least when you talk about The Strangers, at least you knew what you were fucking signing up for. This, I didn't fucking know what the fuck I was signing up for. I kept on changing.
I did not know it was gonna be this bad.
Like it's bad. It's bad. It's bad, but if you just pulled out certain parts of the film, you would think the rest of the film was going to be good. But just the fact that it has so many identity issues.
That is what happened to me. Is I was flipping through channels, and I fell on it for like 5 seconds, and I was like, "Ooh, I don't want to watch this," because I saw it was UK, so I just like wrote it down. I was like, "Ooh, that 5 seconds looked cool," and I just wrote it down, and I was like, "Oh, I'll watch it later." And they got me because you're right. There's a few scenes here and there that are like, oh, this seems like this is going to be a legit film. It's going to be funny. And then there's some scenes where I'm like, why is there stakeout this like weird hipster loft with the Japanese tidal waves and everything?
That's just weird. Like, it's just what the producer said it was his homage to American indie movies of the 80s. That shit didn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense.
Wait,
it made it worse.
Wait, what?
That made it even worse.
Wait, that was his justification?
Yes.
I would have much rather he said an homage to UK dramedies, like crime dramedies. And I'd be like, oh, okay, acceptable. Like, that's just terrible justification.
It's just, I don't even, like, if I read what he said about it, it's just like, nah, bro, that's not what it was.
So go back to this mullet guy. You didn't like the mullet guy at all.
I didn't like the mullet guy because I didn't, like, the mullet guy was a...
He had the best character development. The mullet guy had the best character development.
No.
This is my defense. Mullet guy's character development. He's inspiring.
Mullet guy was just the same character from a Guy Ritchie film, so let's curve that. You know what he was? He was Bullet Tooth Tony, only not Bullet Tooth Tony.
True. I did like the joke about the denim, though.
I mean, like all he is like the best scene that he has is at the end before he dies when he's just going off. Like, I'm just gonna cut your fucking balls off and put them in a blender and then pour them down your throat. And like, I think that when he was going off at the end, that it was all ad-libbed. They just told him just fucking go, and all of them are looking at him like, what? Like, looking at him like the same thing. That's why I can't tell. Like, even seeing dude's explanation. He's saying they wanted the films, they were different, funny, quirky. They didn't take themselves too seriously, but most importantly, they didn't confine themselves to genre rules. No, that's a bad excuse. That's a bad fucking excuse. The film was not good. The film was not good. The film was not good, but had great moments.
Yeah, there was these like you said, little nuggets, little golden nuggets of awesomeness overall, but I knew like 20 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is going to be an egg. We're going to talk about how close this is to egg. I don't know where I'm going to stand until we get to the end because it's very egg worthy. The humor, though, let's talk about the humor for a moment, because I truly think that the humor was the saving grace. And I don't know why they didn't focus on that more. Like,
Because he didn't want to define himself to one genre.
Because I do think, again, these characters were interesting and they were funny people. Like the mother was funny. I thought the
mother
big bad
was
boss,
great. The Ben Schwartz thing, but oh god,
the big bad boss was funny. The big bad boss when he like slaps the shit out of the mullet guy.
Yep,
and then slaps him again.
I'm not gonna front this on
like 3 more times. I'm like, this is too funny.
He slapped the fuck out of him, and then he slapped the fuck out of him, and then he slapped the fuck out of him again. This is definitely on my list of things that were so good.
He slapped him, and his shirt game was like so
wild,
crazy.
And then when he saw old boy that was dead, he was like, "I like his shirt." Like,
I like his shirt because his shirt was flat. That's why.
How about this?
He had this.
The shootouts were so fucking awful.
Oh, no one had any aim. The worst aim in. This is some of the worst aim I've ever seen in shootout history. In slow, when they decided to go slow motion too.
Yo, they had so much random slow motion in the film. Like I couldn't tell if they were making fun of slow motion. What? Like what are they doing?
Yeah, and I think to get back to the humor is that I think that you take the Ben Schwartz character. Literally everything Ben Schwartz said was hilarious. I don't think there's anything that
No. Ben Schwartz got much respect for me for that. Sam Rockwell was great. As a matter of fact, even old girl that was the lawyer was great. As a matter of fact, individually, these characters put into something else would have been perfectly fine. But the fact that the movie had no fucking identity, they didn't need the she's all that shit going on. That shit was whack. Even the way the lawyer was like, the lawyer hit people with what you're doing here is this, and why this is illegal, and I'm gonna go ahead and have you sent to jail. How's that? Like the way she manipulated the situation by being observant was good, but again, a waste. And I don't know why I have 13.5 written in my notes. Don't know why.
13.5? Mm-hmm. What? Just like random.
I remember now. Oh,
what is it?
I remember now.
You hook, line, and sinker. I'm interested. What does 13.5 mean?
I had to sit here. I'm sitting here with this wine on. What the fuck I put 13.5 in my notes for? The mullet guy, who his name is Deacon Bradshaw. His mother ended up fucking.
Oh, Ben Schwartz. Oh, I thought you were talking about
No. So the mullet guy's mother ended up fucking Ben Schwartz, which is a funny storyline in itself. He tells her that his name is Teddy Roosevelt and he's an astronaut. And shit like that. If someone's going to listen to this and be like, is it really that ridiculous? And they're probably going to watch it because it sounds that ridiculous. There's
nothing that makes any sense. Like it was so random. But again, there's these pockets of comedy that was solid.
The mullet guy ends up killing his mother because he just spazzed on her. She's shitting on his father. He's really against people shitting on his father because his father had the same mullet hairstyle and the same jean jacket. She had said that his father had gotten her pregnant at 13.5.
That's some mental health issues, man. That's some real life shit.
13.5? 13.5.
That's fucked up shit, bro.
Her father, his father, mullet guy's father, was fucked up.
His mother was pretty mean too. Again, she was like funny, but you're bringing up all these great moments in this film.
But
the only thing that was terrible was the plot. The plot was horrendous. Yes,
there are moments like I'm telling you, if you separated these moments into the film they were supposed to be, you know what you should do? You
should edit the movie.
Take out all the bad things. You could do that, yo. I wonder if you just write out
and then combine it. Like if you take out all the bad edits and bad scenes, you probably got still an hour left, and every time we jump from scene to scene, we'll write like a post-it note of what happened in between.
Oh yeah,
we'll make the scene that happens in between,
right?
And
to
then
fill
in
the next scene. Right, yeah. Right. Oh, I'm 100%. When they go to the hotel at the end to turn the blue iguana to the princess.
The fact that the hotel is filming a movie and that's all Ben Schwartz's character was talking about his indie films. He's like, how do you feel about lens flare?
Oh no, he said yeah. So of the five main characters, we have Sam Rockwell, Ben Schwartz, we have the British lawyer, we have the gay guy, and then we have the guy who's like the driver.
He's the driver. Yeah, I would say he's
the driver. But they're talking about putting him into movies. And how he almost got the
Hobbit role.
Yeah, got the whole role
as the Hobbit in Lord of the Rings. Like, again,
but he was too tall. Yeah, it's so fucking reckless.
Maybe all this like funny parts was they're like, "Hey guys, I don't know what to do with the scene here. Just like I need two guys talking."
Maybe this ad lib.
Like,
But no,
ad-lib.
Ben Schwartz kept on saying like he wants to do a movie and he wants to put Old Boy in the movie. So we'll call it the Hobbit could be actor, the gay guy, the British lawyer, Sam Rockwell and Ben Schwartz. So Ben Schwartz is saying like, oh, if I'm gonna make a movie, I'm gonna put you in there. It's gonna be like at least $1 billion movie, or whatever, or $100 million movie. That's what he said it was gonna is. And he called it No More Nothing. That was the name of the movie. And he said he wanted to open it up with a 45-minute one shot with lens flare. He was like, "You like lens flare?" "Yeah, I like lens flare." Shit. And I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
I feel
is this serious?
Ben Schwartz had to ad lib that. He had to ad lib this stuff. He had there's got to be tons of ad libs in this film.
This film can't be real, son. It can't be real.
It can't. This can't be the actual script because it's like. How could they have these funny moments? So it's so sporadic that it makes me feel like it was improv. You know what I mean? Like they just leaned into the scene. Like the fact that there's a few other like ongoing jokes that I thought were really funny. When the gay dude is always talking to Sam Rockwell, like, "Oh man, it's always nice working with you. I do love to see you again. It is always nice to be working with you again. Let me tell you."
Tighten a silencer and a gun for like 3 minutes straight.
Yeah. The phallically shaped silencer.
Yeah, and then he's like, "I don't think."
For like
he's
7 minutes.
He's like, "I don't think we need the silencer for this one." So he slowly starts taking it off for another like, I don't know. So they wear disguises to go do a heist, and it's just a hat and glasses.
In glasses, they're like,
and then they reference later
and
about how
terrible,
like how that isn't a thing.
How terrible it is. When Homeboy with the original heist, which I wouldn't even say it was a heist, it was initially a snatch and grab for this blue bag that had $800,000 or 800. Well, I don't know, it was a bunch of money worth of bonds. So I don't even know who this kid is. He ends up getting it, and he gets cornered, and he decides to like jump off the banister and grabs a rope. And the rope's not tied to anything.
Because they're in like a museum or something. He just jumps, grabs the rope, and the rope just falls and he dies. And they snatch the bag and run.
And they just snatch the bag and leave. Like, it's so confusing.
But why? Like, poor K.
It's very random. So some dude was storyboarding this like 10 minutes before every scene.
Deadass. They're like, fuck it, we'll just do this.
Well, we're in a train station today, and it's supposed to be the snatch and grab. What else is the rest? Sam's like, "What else do you want us to do?" He's like, "Oh, well, why don't you just like ad-lib it a little bit?" And I think that's why Ben and Sam's chemistry was so good, because after like doing 10 or 15 scenes where they're like, "Hey, just ad-lib it," they're like, "Oh, this is a fucking joke."
They were like, "Drew, we're just phoning this film in, huh?
We're just gonna phone this film in, huh? Okay, all right." And then I started having fun with it, you know.
This film is like the Krillin of good movies, like.
That's so. Dude, he's Yamcha. It's definitely Yamcha.
It's definitely Yamcha. It's Yamcha. It's not
definitely
Krillin.
Yamcha, bro.
It's not
because like he could spirit bomb.
Yamcha.
But it's like this little baby spirit bomb.
Correction. It is definitely Yamcha. Because when you call up and you have the big world tournament, you're not calling Yamcha. You'll call Krillin.
Krillin's still coming to the world tournament, bro.
Yamcha's not coming. This shit is the Yamcha of Guy Ritchie wannabe.
From day one to the end of the series, someone always got cut with a Destructo disc.
Everyone.
People were underestimating the Destructo disc.
See, but I have to. You know what?
I didn't understand. There was never a time when someone was underestimating the Destructo disc, and that motherfucking shit cuts you every single time.
It was the first one to fuck up Frieza. So I stick by this. I take that back. Krillin is the worst of the absolute best. As in, he is the game. The Krillin and the game are the same people. You know what I mean? He's the absolute worst of the best.
This is B.O.B. Like,
this is B.O.B. He's the absolute best of the absolute worst.
Yeah, like, yes. He's like, yes. Yes, he has a song with Eminem. Yes.
Yeah.
Duly noted. But he is the best of the worst. Like, I don't, maybe like Flow Rider. That's like the only other person I can compare. Like,
you know what? This is the Flow Rider or Pitbull of movies. Like it's just the bare minimum of like
even though movies. I hate him, in the right moods, Flow Rider comes on and I'll make it down. I'm guilty as charged. I don't like him, but every now and then accidentally, I find myself dancing to a Flow Rider song. Not purposely. Never. I will never purposely dance to a Flow Rider song.
Terrible.
But every now and then, it just catches me off guard in the right moments.
So let's make this quick. We'll go ahead. We'll put this one to rest. We just won't go any further. So hit me with your questions.
Okay. So my question number one was, what is your number one reference to another film that just didn't make sense in this film?
I'm telling you, it was Old Boy. He was definitely the guy from Snatch. It was definitely the guy from Snatch. It bothered the shit out of me. That's all. I was like, God damn, why are you? You're not him. It's definitely the dollar store version of every person I've seen in an Ocean's Blank film or a Guy Ritchie film. That's it.
What was your favorite Ben Schwartz comedy moment? Because I want to highlight him. Because shout outs to him.
I'm gonna tell you my favorite Ben Schwartz moment. I'm gonna tell you another moment that really cannot be denied in this film. Favorite Ben Schwartz moment was.
You know, it'd be funny if I got his name wrong this whole time. Really
No. It was right. It's Ben Schwartz.
Is that okay? Okay.
So the worst Ben Schwartz film decision was why he brought that gun into the bar. It didn't make any fucking sense. It was he didn't use it for anything. It wasn't logical. He wasn't in thing, and he ends up just hiding it in there.
Like, yeah, it seemed like, hey guys, we need a gun to be in this bar 30 minutes from now. How do we get in there? Like
the best scene with him though, hands down, is when he's sitting there in a silk robe and he's talking about when I see and Sam Rockwell is like, why do you have a robe on? He's like, because when I like to get out of the shower, I want to feel comfortable. When I feel manly, I put this silk robe on. And he's like, why did you put on a button-up shirt? Because you were trying to impress someone? You were trying to impress me? Like, no, you weren't trying to impress me. You were trying to impress someone else because the girl lawyer just gone there. So that scene right there was my favorite scene. That's the one I remember.
Yeah, pretty clever.
Question 3 for me from you. My favorite scene on the low was at the end when the gay dude kissed Sam Rockwell in the mouth with all of the passion in life. And I was like... And then Sam Rockwell didn't stop. Sam Rockwell didn't stop him. He let him get the first one, and he tried leaning for a second. Like, oh no, that's it. It's fine. He's like, my bad.
My bad there, man. Okay. And then, all right, here's the moment of truth. Is today the day?
What exists between a 0 and a 1?
Wait, what?
What exists between 0 and 1?
he said nothing. 1 divided by 0.
It's not a 0 because it's not. If it weren't just for the Uncle Martin scenes, the Uncle Martin scenes are so good. That one scene,
very funny. There was moments where I every time I was about to like egg this bad boy,
I'll give it a 1. I'll give it a 1 because there are redeemable scenes here. There are some really good scenes in an otherwise, and it's only because, like I said, if we made a supercut and we just cut out certain parts, you could turn it to a She's All That film and not have any of the other shit. You could turn it to a straight Ocean's 11 film and not have the other shit. You could turn it to a straight Guy Ritchie film and not have all the other shit in it. You just gotta cut it out. It's 3 films merged into one, but at the same time, they're never just one film.
He never made anything else. Please tell me
nothing else worthwhile. Nothing else
worthwhile. All right. He does not deserve to make anything else.
His name, because you did not announce his name in the beginning, is Hadi Hajag. I don't know. HADI space HAJAIG. I don't know how to say his name, and I probably will never have to worry about saying it again.
Yeah, that is Hadi Hajag. You're right.
Exactly. So moving on.
Hadi Hajag. I'm gonna agree with you. I wanted to egg this one at the beginning of the film. I wanted to egg it several times during the film.
Yeah.
But the only reason why I'm not gonna egg it is because every single moment it was an egg in my mind. Within 10 to 15 minutes, I laughed once and or twice. That made up for that eggness that they had.
Right.
I think there's some weird ass creak in my fucking room that just made me spaz because all these horror movies I've been watching.
Strangers, you all fucked up. See,
what creak was it?
Strangers wasn't that crazy, and then you get that.
He said, "Can we?" I'm sorry, you may have to edit that out. That shit was fucking scary as hell.
That's funny.
But yeah, close. This is the closest we've ever gone to an egg, and
a mutual egg.
Mutual. You know what? But he made it out. Plea deal. He took the plea deal. This film took the plea deal from the egg, man. He got the plea deal. So yes, 1 extremely low. I'm reversing my rating for the last film, which I gave that a low one. That was disrespectful. It was a high one because this is a low one. My
There you
rating
go.
system was incorrect.
There you go. There you
So
go.
this is
Give
a
more
low
credit.
one compared to the last film that was a high one.
You might even be able to give it a 2 off of that. You might have to retcon.
I didn't realize.
Retcon
I
the
didn't
strangers
realize
for
what
the
one
for a
really
2.
looked like. Because
Retcon
I was thinking
strangers for a 2.
And here's the other thing too is I was thinking about the other film that I gave a 1 to, and I was like, damn, that shit was disrespectful. Now I think about it, but I'm not gonna go back and change it. It's, what's done is done.
Which one did you give it to? Which one did you give a 1?
No, a 1. Paprika.
Oh, Paprika. You know what then? Since we're always moving forward, if you want to make a new rule, if you want to retcon a rating because you've realized that
No. I'm gonna stand by. I'm just gonna live with the decision I made, and just give this a low one.
But this is about the people. Like
no, I think in my mind I still agree that Paprika was a high one. It's still there. All my feedback stands strong.
Okay.
This was just a low one. This was so close to being an egg, folks. So close.
That shit was close. I ain't going front. I was watching that
questions you
because
got for me?
I love Guy Ritchie, and I was like that. What was the most redeeming scene in the film? The one that had it like, this is the only thing I'd come back and check again.
Honestly, like the first 15-20 minutes was pretty good.
It was.
Yeah, the first 15-20 minutes, I was like, oh, this is gonna, okay, I see where they're going. And then
they didn't go
when
there.
they recover. Yeah, and then once the Bonds made their hands into the big boss, that's when the movie went to like free fall, and I'm like, what is going on here?
It just didn't stop.
So I would say my redeeming scene is the whole first 15 minutes. Like I really liked when they went into the train for the original snatch and grab. I thought that was all funny.
Fair.
From the moment they got to the UK and they're in the car and the dude's screwing on the silencer to the point where the big bad boss gets the package. Mm-hmm. That's where I would say that's redeemable. Like it was a lot of fun stuff going on in those moments.
Mm. So what was the worst scene in the film?
Whew. God.
I know what mine is.
Oh God. I felt like they had that giant explosion and was a complete waste. When did this dude become an explosive expert? When?
I don't know. I'm not here to judge.
This character was never an explosive expert.
Well, you don't know
and
that.
All of a sudden he became this explosive with Eddie. Which, by the way, he was doing all this like fancy fucking fight in the beginning, which I thought was humorous.
Oh,
but then
slow
when he
motion,
became a magical fucking explosive expert, that's what I was like, what the fuck?
This film had identity issues, bro. It had identity issues.
What is going on here?
I can't even.
I say that scene was ridiculous. How terrible the shots are. They can't shoot for shit. Mm-mm. The romance between the lawyer and Sam was so like wasted.
Oh, it was whack. I would have rather it not happen.
So wasted. So fucking wasted. Yeah, those are the three. One, go back to another cool scene was at the end. They lit that little explosive and blew up the bullet guy. And they're like, oh, you blew up the money. And they're like, nah, man, I got a cashier's check. I was like,
what?
I was like, what? Someone wrote you like a $5 million cashier's check?
What?
What?
They're going to accept that?
How do you even cash that?
Awful.
What bank do you go to cash?
Guys.
I don't even know any place that will do a cashier's check higher than 10 grand without like a 70,000 like identity check, like a 70,000.
You gotta have $70,000 in the bank to even cash that shit.
Oh,
if not, you're waiting for months to happen.
Yeah, and the background check it checks your ancestors. Like they need like an ancestry.com.
Exactly,
like,
that shit's too much.
So unnecessary. It was a stupid little joke that I found funny because it's like, oh, of course they don't have bags of money. They have a cashier's check. Like that's ridiculous. How dorky they are. Yeah, this film was dorky. This film was dorky.
It was awful.
All right. What's your last question? What's the last question?
No, that was it. That was just over. I didn't want to dig any deeper. Yeah. I just want to know your best and your worst. Let's call it a day.
Yeah, it was not my strongest pick.
Nah, not at all, buddy.
But it was fun. It was fun to talk about.
So
I like defending an egg. That was close. Almost.
That was a toughie.
Of course, it was my film, so I had to defend it.
That was a toughie, boy.
Don't condemn him.
It was a toughie, boy. What is our underlying theme between these two films?
Between Blue Iguana and
The Strangers. The movie is what you think it is, but it's not
Yeah.
at all.
yeah, like it is exactly what you think it is. Like this, it's so predictable. Both of them are so freaking predictable, dude.
Fair.
But you're right. They had these. Both of them had these like micro moments of like awesomeness and make it so good. Not our strongest parallel ever. Don't get me wrong.
No, not at all. All right, so the selection I have for you next is Itchy the Killer.
Ichiban the Killer. And then for me, I have a French title that I can never remember, though it sounds so French. It is called He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not. Intrigued because it is a romance thriller and it's 90 minutes long. Perhaps it's a horror film. Perhaps.
À la folie pas du toi. That's what it says the original title is. I don't know if I did that right, but I'm going to say it is. So, there you go. Go in there. Itchy the Killer is a Japanese horror anime. You'll see it. Enjoy.
Just enjoy. And then, given with the current times, I left you with a question last podcast.
session?
You leave me with a question.
What is the number one thing you think people should realize they need to change?
Fucking draws.
I guess if that's the way we're interpreting it, change your draws.
Change your draws.
Change your draws. Stay
I'm gonna
fresh.
stick to that answer too, because integrity.
Change your draws. So let it be. So let it be written. So let it be done. All right, y'all.
Peace, love, and prosperity always.
As always, thank you. Like I said, brother, sip and talk shit. Thank you again.
On seeing a young lady, degrading comments are made. Mickey, I'd finger her with all five. Deacon, you fucking cunt. The only thing you've fingered is your asshole. Laughter ensues.
George, look at the tits on it. I'd bang that whore till it dropped off.
Milroy Primus, I never go down on bad pussy.
Mickey, I bet she could swallow and fart at the same time.
I have swallow and part.
No, I think it's swallow and farts.
Doesn't make sense at all.
I agree. And what would be the point of
Thank
swallowing?
you, Uncle. Very thorough. Excellent work.
Not a